Welcome, guys, to the SEF Backstage Pass podcast. We're all the behind the scenes, behind closed doors. We're going to dive right into Mama Rita. We've got the co-founder with us today, Jessica Kahawaty. You're a law graduate, and you are now an entrepreneur, and you're a model as well. That's a big portfolio. The first question I have for you is, do you actually eat the food from Mama Rita? How do you stay looking so fit?
I guess that's a testament to how healthy and delicious our food is, of course. I mean, we do so many food tastings a week. If you come into my home at any point, there's always a food tasting, a new dish, something we're creating in the kitchen. And what's great is, I always say my mom looks like a model that cooks like a grandma. She cooks the most hearty food, but at the same time, it's just so healthy. It's free of, the oils and kind of crazy, I guess, ingredients that we have in the food these days. She likes to stick to simple ingredients, focusing on the spices, on the olive oils, on lean proteins, and just good food.
Absolutely. You know what? I've had it several times, and I have to say it is actually...
I'm so happy.
Healthy. Yeah, it does. Yes. It does feel healthy. Why Mama Rita? Why did you go into food specifically?
It wasn't something planned at all. So by vocation, I studied law and business finance, and then I ended up going into the fashion industry for a very long time, still am. I work with, wonderful international brands. During the pandemic, my mom got stuck in Dubai from Australia. And whilst it was something that we were thinking about for so many years, doing something with her food, we never thought it would be a food delivery or a concept or brand. We always thought maybe we would do a cookbook, we would launch something that has to do with our food, but not as intense as a food brand. And honestly, I just felt like it was during COVID. It would have been incredibly tone deaf to launch anything else. Food is for all, food is democratic, it's something that transcends all cultures and ages. And it was at a time when food was the only thing that really made us feel good. And that you could launch and reach so many people in their homes without actually seeing them. So you have a part of you in their homes. And I guess, it stemmed from years and years of love of food, the heritage and recipes passed down from my grandma, as well as a great opportunity, which was a time when the world wasn't going through such a great time.
Right, absolutely. You know what? My mom got stuck in Moscow during COVID, and I had to call her on bottom for her to give me recipes to cook proper Arabic food, even though my mom is Russian, but she cooks really good Arabic food. So it stemmed out of COVID, basically. So at least a couple of good things came out of COVID.
Exactly.
What is next for Mama Rita? Are you thinking brick and mortar? Are you thinking a cookbook? Walk me through kind of the vision and the plan for the future.
The brand has grown so much through the last 3 years, and our pillars have grown with that. So we started off as a food delivery business, expanded into catering, private and corporate catering. We are doing wonderful collaborations with brands. We have one that we're launching very soon. I'm under NDA, so I can't say, but stay tuned in a few weeks. And brick and mortar is 100% on our radar, in our vision. We are currently looking at locations. So I announced in there that we're finally going to open a brick and mortar. We have a few locations in mind. I think it's just time to open our doors and have people come and really experience Mama Rita, enter our homes, because this is what we're like. We just always love to have people over, and this is how our restaurant is also going to look like.
Nice. Is there a timeline? Are you starting with one store? Is it going to be in Dubai?
I do have a few ideas of what I would like to do. It will start off with one store and then expand to several others. We also want to go global with this. We have so many followers on not just my page, Jessica, but Mama Rita, that are from all over the world. So we've had requests from Saudi, from Kuwait, Qatar, London, Paris, Belgium, Germany, Australia. So Mama Rita has really touched so many people, and I feel like the brand is bigger than what our operations is today, because we can only reach a certain part, which is the UAE.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can match those two together.
I was just speaking to the House of Pops co-founder Mazen, And we were talking about how there is such a thing as growing too quickly.
Yeah.
What are your concerns about that, or what are the current challenges, let's say, with Mama Rita? Of course, there are so many opportunities here. You guys are doing great, but walk me through the challenges and.
I think Mazen from House of Pops is 100% correct. We actually have a collaboration with House of Pops, which is the Mama Rita collection of ice creams. They're delicious. You have like orange blossom, matcha chocolate. I don't know if you've tried them. They're so good. Cold brew coffee. So he's an amazing founder, and he's absolutely correct. I have been extremely cautious on how to grow the last 3 years. We've had so many offers to go to different countries, to open up. We've been thrown locations in the UAE. But if it's not the correct thing, I would just not elect to go for it. I think what's important is setting your SOPs, your standards, your internal rule book, and to make sure that you don't deviate from the essence of your brand, so that any opportunity that comes to you, you'll know right away if it's a yes or no. So growing, I mean, we're in our 30, we've grown quite a bit, and I feel like now we're ready for our brick and mortar. We weren't ready year 1 or 2.
Yeah.
It just started off as a completely different, a light asset DNVB model, food delivery only, collaboration. So that's what we focused on at the beginning.
Yeah. Did you expect it to have this much success? I mean, the F&B industry here is very, very competitive. We've got a lot of brands that open, do really well the first year, 2 years, and then the third year they disappear. Every single year we've got, a list of restaurants that come out and they've shut down after a year or 2.
I think it's incredibly sad. I definitely don't wish that on any business owner to go out of business. What you need to recognize is the F&B industry is one where there are very low barriers to entry. And so it's very easy to enter, very easy to exit. And there's just been such a commoditization of food brands all around. Where it's just copy-paste models, or a lot of cloud kitchens opening up with a taco brand, a pizza brand, a Lebanese brand, a burger brand, and the storytelling part of it is non-existent. The branding hasn't been thought out. The product itself is not so good. It's very kind of cookie cutter. Innovation is not there. They're not listening to their customers, the packaging. So much goes into it. And I think if you have heritage in terms of storytelling, good branding, great products, and you're constantly innovating, giving your customers new things, hopefully you'll be here to stay.
Absolutely. You know what? I interviewed Jason Atherton a couple of years back, and he's kind of Gordon Ramsay's protege. And he's got a couple of restaurants here. But I asked him, why another restaurant? Does Dubai really need another restaurant? And he said, it doesn't matter how many restaurants you have, there's always space for one more great restaurant or one more great burger place. What are some of the challenges that you have had launching Mama Rita?
I think
we're maintaining it.
Yeah, we're a team of perfectionists. I mean, you're talking almost 10 women in the team, and we're all such perfectionists in all that we do. And I think the food industry is one of the hardest industries. I mean, sometimes I tell my friends I wish I was just selling like paper, like stationery. It's like it just sits there, With food, so many SOPs, so much quality control. It needs to be perfect, and so many variables can affect that. You have fridges, delivery, operations, the food product, the produce. You might get an apple that just does not taste like the apple from the day before.
Yeah.
So I think it's a hard industry. It's exciting. I think keeping up with the quality has been so important and at the paramount of everything we do. And I love that people always tell us, it feels like my mom's food. It's so tasty. It's so light. It's so homey. And it's because we're constantly managing all our ingredients and making sure, we don't compromise on anything. And if we ever do have days where, for example, we didn't get a good delivery for certain items, the mulukhiyya, so mulukhiyya, it's like Jews mallow, and if we didn't get good produce, we'll just have it offline and we won't sell it. So we won't compromise and sell a product that is less than our quality.
I was wondering about something. So Tracy Harmouche just launched Mama Buzo.
Yeah.
Is that part, is there a collaboration inside? Because it's Mama Rita, Mama Puza. Was it inspired by Mama Rita?
I mean, I don't think we own Mama, right? Mama, everyone has a Mama. So
Yeah.
I love Tracy. She's a friend. I think it's exciting. I haven't tried the ice cream yet.
Yeah.
I'd love to try it. I saw quick things on social media actually just a few days ago, and then I realized it was launched a few months ago. So it was, but I'd love to try her product, and why not? I'd love to.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I was just wondering because yeah,
there's a lot of mamas.
secret,
I think. Yeah.
collaboration there,
No,
yeah.
when we launched, I remember when we launched Mama Rita, there were other mamas out there. Brands with Mama, I can't remember right now the names, but I know it's not a, Mama itself is not proprietary, but Mama Rita is. So,
Sure. Walk me through the investment part of the business. Have you been bootstrapping? Are you looking to raise money? How is that going?
So Mama Rita is 100% owned by us. We have not raised any investment in 3 years. Thankfully, touch wood, we haven't required that because it's just been such a wonderful business from the beginning, and it's been kind of fueling itself. I do reinvest everything back into the business. I think that's so important, just to feed it as much as possible and not take away from it. In terms of investment, look, we've been approached by so many people, and thankfully wonderful people that I would love to work with and I would work with any day. It's just about creating the plan and the use of funds and what are we actually raising for. For our brick and mortar expansion, it could potentially be that we raise for that. It could be that we raise for some other strategies we have in terms of global expansion or other pillars where we're launching our e-commerce. So it really depends. But today, as of now, it's not on the cards.
You haven't needed the investment yet.
Thankfully.
Yeah, okay, that's great because a lot of startups, and that's another topic we spoke to Mazen about, startups tend to kind of be overvalued, and then they raise a lot of money that they don't need, and then they burn investor money. Why did you decide to bootstrap and not go down that route?
Look, we really believe in Mama Rita, and we have such a good plan, and it didn't require crazy burn. In terms of a brick and mortar would normally require much more burn than what we're doing today, which is again a light asset DNVB. So it's a digitally native vertical brand, right? So it's just online on social media. We're very light in terms of our spend and our burn. Which is great. That's like the dream of any brand. I know with Miles and House of Pops, I could be, I can't speak for any other brand, but I know he has his beautiful kiosks, which I love. So that's why I think as soon as we look into the brick and mortar expansion, the physical expansion, that's potentially where investor money would be required. But at the beginning, I mean, we just believed in it so much. We wanted to put everything into it, and we have. And it's thankfully paid off.
Nice, cool. You know what? You are so well media trained. Because I've asked you about the challenges a couple of times. What are the challenges?
Look at any startup has challenges. Honestly, it's like if I was to honestly speak to you, I think a challenge is hiring, for example, and a lot of businesses do face that. For me, thankfully, everyone who's come on board has stayed on board, but I have been through a few, key staff where I just haven't found the right person for the job, because we are quite a hybrid brand, starting off from this a delivery brand that wants to go into brick and mortar. So it wasn't quite clear where we were at. So I feel like what we require are like entrepreneurial residents, people who really understand the cloud kitchen model and the delivery model, but can also see the vision of the brand of going into brick and mortar. I think hiring is a big one. Challenges, I mean, we spoke about quality. I'm trying to think about like major, honestly, just operations, and that goes hand in hand with quality. It's like, it's such a sensitive thing, you're not selling cups or tables where they could just sit in a warehouse, but sometimes, if your fridge, goes up or down a little bit, or if you have I don't know, a shortage in a certain product, a lot of things are disrupted.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to think what else.
I mean, that's enough.
That's
okay.
enough, right? Okay.
Yeah, I don't need more than that.
Talent.
But no, I think talent, finding great talent and then keeping, retaining great talent, especially with the competition now with Saudi. A lot of people are going there. A lot of the companies are poaching that talent. So I think that's a very,
I think with talent, it's been more finding the right talent rather than retaining. We have 100% retention rate. I mean, no one has ever, thank God, quit or wanted to leave, because when they work at Mama Rita with us, they really feel like family, and we treat them like family.
Yeah.
Everyone is has a say. Everyone is, worthy of whatever their capabilities are. I never cap any employee. I never cap their capabilities or their successes. I make sure I empower the team. We invest a lot in education if they wish to learn. We had our amazing brand manager who did a Harvard course that was funded by Mama Rita because she wanted to learn and build her skills. So I think it's really important to treat your staff like family, and if they ever want to leave, then I would wish them all the best, because that means it's me also not capping their capabilities and their progress.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. We were just talking on our show with Smashy Business the other day about Starbucks and how they just came out with a statement admitting that the boycotts because of Palestine have affected sales in the Middle East and the U.S. as well massively because of the protests and vandalizing U.S. stores. You have been quite outspoken as an individual, and you've also, done an initiative with Mama Rita. Is it important as a brand to, have a political stance, let's say, or speak out? How important is that? Should we judge companies like, Starbucks, the world's largest, mind you, you're a small business. Starbucks is the world's largest coffee maker. Should we judge brands that choose to stay quiet?
I think it's really important in this day and age to take a stance on social media, because it's a media platform. It's like the new television, right? So as a key opinion leader or public figure, I rent out my space for brands to advertise in. And when I'm not doing that, I also speak about issues that are very important to me. And the way we have mobilized people, whether it's now or even in the past, I've been doing charity work for such a long time. It's since I was 17 years old. I just feel like my followers are humanitarian. They follow conscious brands. They support conscious brands. People are not stupid. The consumer is incredibly intelligent. I'm a consumer, even though I'm a brand owner. So I think it's very important to be conscionable in all that you do, whether it's collaborations, whether it is the way you speak on social media. Having said that, brands need to continue and persist because they have so many employees they need to pay. So I have at least 40 people depending on me. So I cannot just disrupt my whole operations forever to talk about whatever issue. It could be a natural disaster, it could be an emergency crisis, it could be a war. I think it's important to make a stance, but then continue, because so many people's livelihoods depend on my business. So I think a great balance is necessary. I think people who are brave are also necessary. And today, we're really all one. I mean, we have to stick together. We have to fight together for whatever it is, and make a stance and be on the right side of history.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for your time,
Thank
Jessica.
you.
Thank
you so much.
An amazing conversation, honestly. Guys, if you haven't checked out SEF, the Sharjah Entrepreneurship Festival this year, do check it out next year. It's an annual celebration of everything entrepreneurship. We've got this year over 200 speakers, workshops, and just incredible conversations and incredible guests.
Thank you, Lumna. It was a pleasure.